Man, Oh, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's Monday. It's technically our first Monday show.
First Monday show
we made, everybody.
Wow. Thank you guys for joining us. Holy heck balls. Did Tom Grossi's team get his butt kicked? I immediately, Tom getting his ass kicked. I think of Tom Brady. I am well-wishing, but Tom Grossi had a rough go-around yesterday. And the Broncos, I did not. Surprisingly, I had a very, very good opening Sunday. And I'm not doing that to rub it in your face, Tom.
Oh, it's working.
I wanted to see the Packers win, but they didn't, and it wasn't even close. We will get into that, I am sure.
Oh, no, we don't have to. We don't even have to even begin to talk about it. But listen, I will say, it was really nice to be watching football once again.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful thing. And then my game came on, and I was like, all right, maybe we could go a few more months without this.
Yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers needs to do some more off-season trade rumors, really hone in. He did not look good. That's the part that might scare Packers fans a little bit, but
we're going to get into all the overreactions from that game because my DMs were just
I'm sure.
Oh, they were a fountain of miscreants and doom and gloom. And
yeah, here's the difference, I think, between our DMs. Your guys probably overreacting. I still had angry Teddy Bridgewater fans who were like, talk about how he converted 3 4th downs, but let's be honest, he got the team into 3 4th downs that should have been 3 and outs.
Like at that point, it's like, what makes you happy? Like on the inside, like what is it? There's nothing there.
Enjoy football.
I will say one of the bright spots is I kicked the ever living crap out of you in fantasy.
So at least cheated though. Cheater.
Okay, not cheating. Let's get this on the record right now.
Cheater.
All was said is that we had to draft those people, which, by the way, you shouldn't even have Christian McCaffrey, number one. So let's get that right out of the way real quick. Number 2, the only guy I got to play is Derek frackin' Henry. All through the bye, all through an injury, I got to play Derek Henry. So, no cheating. Tom Grossi.
Yeah, I had Fitzmagic, which is what really killed me. He'll be out for a while with a hip injury.
Yep.
That's bad. I was excited to watch him beat the Chargers, but Chargers, big win for them. We'll get into our biggest upsets today. We'll try to get through as many games as we can. We'll hone in on the Broncos and the Packers, but first, we got to shout out our sponsor. The reason this show has legs, has wheels, has whatever you want to call it. DraftKings
has wheels for legs.
Book. Only kind of reading I do is if it is a sports book. Other than that, I am what former teachers might call illiterate. But DraftKings Sportsbook giving all new players a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 with their first deposit when you use code GPS. Not only can we navigate you through the world of football, let us navigate you through the world of football sports betting. So head to DraftKings right now, head to their app, download that, put it on your phone, put it on your computer, whatever you use to do your things. DraftKings has same game parlays, player props, live betting, and so much more. They have this thing called tier lists in their DFS, which I find very fun because you don't have to deal with the salary cap. You just get like eight or nine players to choose from. You pick who you think is going to be the best, and you go through your whole lineup and do that. I was doing well until I had Devontae Adams as my last man to carry my team. Thought that was a safe bet. Was not.
It's on me.
But again, use code GPS when you sign up at DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Safe, secure, reliable. So you know you can deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. We got a link in the description. They support us. If you want to support us and you're got a little tickle in your belly to do sports betting, do it through DraftKings.
Listen, I did their fantasy stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm going to crush this. I think I finished like 131,805. I did not win the money.
That's because you weren't playing against a bunch of me's.
Yes, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. There was a lot of things that weren't great over the weekend. Like my Pick'em League that I started, which by the way, top 10 on ESPN. Let's just throw that out there right there. Top 10 on ESPN.
In terms of how many people are in there?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
We're the highest private group, and we're like number 9, I think, on the list. Crushing it. But I'll tell you what didn't crush it. Me. Because I think I went like 8-7 so far. Like, it's rough. It's not good. I did not. Some guy like went, I only got like 1 or 2 wrong. I'm like, what? How do you predict all those things? Because there were a ton of upsets yesterday. Like, a ton of them. Like, you had road teams like just demolishing. It was, except the Packers, they didn't demolish anything. But I mean,
I think there were 8 underdog wins and 5 road team wins or something like that I saw Adam Schefter tweet out. So if you were doing a pick'em, you probably got burned. I picked the Browns to upset the Chiefs. I was so close.
You're close.
I picked Washington to beat the Chargers. Very close until I wasn't. But I did correctly pick the Texans to beat the pants out of the Jaguars.
Yeah, you know what? Because that was like the garbage game of the week. Let's highlight that for a hot second. Let's highlight the Jaguars versus the Houston Texans here. My God, like, listen, I'm no Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't have any high ground here, right? But holy crap, did the Jaguars look bad? Like, they looked real bad. And I think a lot of it went into, like, I put stock and I was like, oh, they got Trevor Lawrence, they got Robinson. Like, they got some pieces to score something. But holy crap, man, they did not play good football. And they made the Houston Texans look good. And I'm happy for Tyrod Taylor. Like, he was slinging it out there. Yeah. He had himself a nice game, but
he had a very Teddy Bridgewater-like performance.
Yeah.
Almost identical QB ratings. Teddy had a higher completion percentage, but 2 TDs, 291, just safe, secure, reliable. That's what everybody's rooting for Tyrod. I think a lot of people are rooting for Teddy. But the Jags are bad in the wrong places, which is defense and offensive line. And with a rookie quarterback, you want to protect him. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he really racked up some garbage time stats there. Mark Ingram got a much bigger workload than I anticipated. 26 carries for Ingram. One of my favorite backs when he was with the Ravens.
Oh, he
really hyped up Teddy after the game. And Brandon Cooks, huge outing.
32 yards. Like, is this like I feel like we always have this because Brandon Cooks comes out and has like this kind of game every season. And we're like, this is the year. Like, this is the one where he gets paid all that money and it's totally worth it now. Right. And then it never is. But yeah, I mean, if you had him in fantasy, I guess if you were just like, hey, I got nothing to lose, I got to start a Texans wide receiver, that paid dividends yesterday. Oh, no, now we're on the right side now.
See, I had to correct. John pointed out last week we were on the wrong sides. That's Good Sports. You're Patcast.
Yeah, I mean, depends on what day of the week it is. But yeah. So right off the bat, do you think the Jaguars, because we talked about the Texans being potentially the worst team in the league, do you think the Jaguars are the worst team in the league?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be close right now. I think between the Jags
say the Packers,
and the Lions.
I swear to Christ, I will leave.
Jags and Lions. Packers. Jags and Packers.
Packers in Jacksonville. Yes. Like, that's what I like to think happened. They walked in and were just like,
They became the Jaguars.
They drank like, they were just like, oh, that's the Jaguars Gatorade, and they drank that, and that it was like the opposite of what happened in Space Jam at halftime. That's what I would imagine.
Aaron Rodgers turned into Blake Bortles, and the Packers defense turned into the Jags defense. Everybody now is requesting to be traded out of Green Bay on that defensive side of the ball, including Kevin King, who doesn't really have a right to be traded.
Listen, if Kevin King is running away, he will be flailing his arms as he runs, and people will be blowing past him.
Is this how I cover? Is this how I cover?
He's the wacky inflatable arm man at like the car dealerships. They listen. I will say, it kind of makes sense now that you say that. We cut Blake Bortles this during training camp.
Yeah.
Does anyone know about Blake Bortles' whereabouts yesterday? Could have been in there. Could have been spiking the Gatorade. Could have been lifting the sprinkler system like in that Buffalo Wild Wings commercial and tripping people up. I saw some people trip. I saw it. But yeah, I guess since we're already on the topic of the Packers, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers.
You want to talk about your pain and misery?
Do I want to? Want is a strong word. It's a very, very strong word. Yeah, the Green Bay Packers got the ever-living crap kicked out of them. And I mean, it wasn't close. There wasn't a moment where it was close, like not at all. And from the beginning, we're like, oh, this is going to be bad. And there was like a glimmer of hope. Right before halftime, Aaron Rodgers throws a dart to Devontae Adams. Amazing catch, amazing throw. And you're like, okay, they get a field goal. They're like, all right, you get the ball after half. Like, here we go. Like, this is what we want. And they do, and they move it down the field, and then Aaron Rodgers throws his first of 2 interceptions. And it was at that point where you go, okay, this is bad. This is real bad. Aaron Rodgers played like poopy caca. It was not good. It was not good.
Taysom Hill, higher QB rating than Aaron Rodgers. Who would have guessed that?
Yeah. You saw some Jordan Love. So, and listen, Jordan Love, I will say, besides that forced fumble, like that sack fumble. I'm so sorry, Scott. Besides that, looked pretty decent. 5 for 7, 68 yards, looked actually okay coming in there. I didn't want to see him in there. But, the offensive line didn't do too poorly with Dave Bakhtiari being out. It's just the run game. Like, you look at those numbers, Aaron Jones had 9 rushing yards. 9. Just like if someone asks a German, did the Packers do well yesterday? They're going to say 9. It was terrible. Kylan Hill outperformed. A.J. Dillon, 19 yards. Like, that's the thing. The Saints have a really good run defense.
Yeah.
But holy crap. It's like we didn't even try. And LaFleur came out and said that in his press conference. He's like, yeah, that's on me. Like, we just didn't run the ball, like, at all. And I think it made him one-dimensional, super duper quick. And then our defense...
Bad.
It was bad. The run defense, we couldn't stop anything. Kamara had over 80 yards. He did well. You had Winston when he decided to run. He did well. I mean, and that's the craziest stat. It's Jameis Winston only threw 20 times for less than 150 yards and 5 touchdowns because he was like, oh, Tony Jones, here you go. Alvin Kamara, here you go. He bombed it once, and that was Deontay Harris, and crushed it, and was just like, oh yeah, that's a touchdown. But it's crazy to me just how bad and like how messy the Packers were. Like, I was like, oh, it's in Jacksonville. There's the humidity. The Saints, they could be decent this year. Blah, blah, blah. Kamara and all that great stuff. But it was just an ass kicking. And it was ugly.
How many sacks you guys give up? 1, 2, just 2.
Yeah, you know how many sacks we got?
0.
Yeah, no, none. 0.
0.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. I mean, Eric Stokes, who played a little bit, our corner that we just drafted in the first round.
Did he go fast, though, Tom?
He did go fast. Eric Stokes go fast. And he did. He actually showed that closing speed on a breakup, which was real nice. But, yeah, no, there's not a lot to take away from yesterday. But I will tell you, Brandon Perna, the frickin' DMs that I got. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that article, too.
Still pulling for Aaron Rodgers. I believe he will shake off the dust.
I think so, too. I think he will, too. but I think that the overreaction of they're saying like trade Rodgers now, trade Zadarius Smith,
I said to trade Rodgers now. I'll take him.
and
And Teddy played his best game of his career. So
you're still like, give me Aaron Rodgers with like a 30 QBR.
Yes.
Bring him in still. What else is that? Oh yeah, fire Joe Barry. And that was the first 25 minutes of the game. It was fire Joe Barry already.
Is that your DC?
Yeah, it's our new DC. And I gotta say, like, it's week 1. It's week 1. Like, that's it. It's game 1, week 1. If this is happening like in week 6, then we're screwed. Like then we start pushing the panic button a little bit and start freaking out a little bit. But it's week 1. You got the Detroit Lions next week, who, listen, almost came back and beat the 49ers.
Yeah, that's a lot of garbage. That's Jared Goff taking over for what everybody criticized Matt Stafford for being. Pat Stafford. Hatford.
Which, by the way,
a lot
Matt
of garbage
Stafford
time worked there by the Lions. Did anybody in the NFC North win?
They were winless. Not a single team won. And here's the thing.
That's great for the Packers.
I regret nothing because I tweeted out the Vikings just lost to the Bengals. Kitty goes meow. And then a lot of ha 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 in caps. And I regret nothing. I regret absolutely nothing because you lost to the Bengals. The Bengals.
Yeah, I think one team that might, one fan base that's riding very high is the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
I would caution Cincinnati because the Vikings defense, I think, is still going to be horrible. But it was good to see Joe Burrow back out there slinging it, returning from that horrible knee injury. Oh, yeah. Bengals will have an offense. We'll see how their defense holds up. I mean, the Vikings offense is their strength, so credit to them. They get a key Dalvin Cook fumble in that game.
Was it a fumble?
Well, I didn't see the replay.
I watched the replay again this morning because a lot of people were upset in Sunday Night Football yesterday, and they were like, "Oh, Dalvin Cook was down," and like,
was it close?
It's real close. Like they ruled it a fumble on the field, so when it was being looked at, like you had to overturn that. But it looks like his tuchus was down.
Ooh, we had a very similar play in the Broncos Giants game.
Oh,
our tight end Albert O fumbles on the sideline. Giants recover ish. The guy's going out of bounds, his knees kind of crossing the out of bounds line, but his butt's also down on the ground. They end up giving him possession, but then the Broncos defense just smothered the Giants, and then Teddy led a drive right before halftime and scored a touchdown. So
a what?
A touchdown? You ever heard of those? When
your
quarterback throws one?
I don't know. What's what are those things?
Yeah, we had a couple of those.
Oh, you.
God?
Oh, God.
One
the rapture.
Equals 2 feet is what God is telling me right now.
I hear a voice in the background, in the ether.
Okay, so I wanted to talk. So, okay, there was something similar that happened between the Packers and the Broncos in this game. All right, you guys struggled to run the ball, correct?
Yes.
Broncos struggled to run the ball, as did the Giants. It was just like this. These defensive fronts were like kind of controlling the game.
Yeah.
But the most misleading stats you will see, that you will see this week is Melvin Gordon's 9.2 yards per carry average. Because without a 70-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter, that is like 2 or 3 yards per carry. It would be like the thing I would, nitpick is the Broncos need to run the ball more effectively. Even though I believe the Giants have a very good defensive front. We talked about that during the live stream. But it was a struggle where you're just waiting for like something to break. The good news is my Broncos stopped the opposing team from rushing the football.
Just rubbing it in. Just the salt is just right in the wound. The wound.
But people will look at Gordon's rushing yards per attempt and be like, "Oh, dang, he crushed that game." Kind of an outlier there.
Not so much. Not so much. I mean, so after the Broncos, they whooped the Giants' ass, right?
Yeah, it was a close first half.
Yeah.
I'll give the Giants credit. They played a very close game, but second half, it got away from the Giants. Daniel Jones, classic fumble. He runs, gets a first down and fumbles, which I called. I predicted. I called it right before the play happened. And then after, Broncos score right before halftime. This was sort of the key. They score right before halftime. They get the kickoff after halftime, and then they take half of the third quarter to do a scoring drive where they score another touchdown. Like,
sounds like the
you
Saints.
wear out the defense, you just steal their soul, if you will, and after that, it was within reach for the Giants if they wanted to make a comeback, but they just couldn't.
We
3 fourth down conversions for Teddy B.
There you go. Yeah, we had 3 possessions in the first half. 3.
Wow.
Like that, like the time of possession differential was insane. Like they just came out and they're like, nope, we're just gonna run the ball, and we're gonna eat up all the clock. Like there was a point where I was like, wow, it's halftime already, and there was like a ton of time left in like the Chiefs-Browns like first half, and they started at the same time, and I was like, something's not right here.
Yeah, the Broncos game moved quick. I think I was like watching on Game Pass, and even with like all the commercial breaks, it finished in under 3 hours. So it was like 2 hours and 58 minutes, which was like doing a live stream. That was nice. I felt like it was a good full live stream. Jess said she'll be ready to go pretty quick. Okay, so awesome. Adam, 5 Points Vids. Make sure you sub to 5 Points Vids. Joined me. We went out to the middle of freaking nowhere this week because Adam helped get a field put in to a high school field that was playing on dirt. And he tricked me into driving him 4 hours to the middle of nowhere to a town in Colorado I've never heard of. Population 57, no gas station in this town. Like, I was like, if our car breaks down, we might get murdered out here.
It's the hills have eyes out here.
It is the hills have eyes. Except it was like desert hills, which is even or maybe that's what I never saw the hills have eyes. I don't watch scary movies. Adam, he is about to fly back to the East Coast. I appreciated you coming out here, Adam.
Thanks for letting me stay in your guest room.
He cooked me some banger short beef ribs last night. Beef short ribs. So good.
I made my mom's special recipe for the Thai beef short ribs. I am half Thai, so you got to experience that. But it was a great weekend. We streamed live the game reaction yesterday, and we had a lot of fun. The Giants looked terrible. We can join you in misery, Tom. It was at least, you're saying it's week 1, but for the Giants, we've seen a lot of week 1s. We've seen 4 or 5 consecutive week 1. In fact, there's a stat out there on Twitter that the Giants are the only team since 2017 to have 0 weeks with a winning record in the NFL. So,
Jesus.
And then we have to turn around and face the Washington football team, one of the best defenses. The only optimistic part I have is that, Ryan Fitzpatrick is out, but the Giants have trouble with quarterbacks that can scramble. So if Taylor Heineke comes in and balls out, it's going to be scary. So I'm not very optimistic about this team, but a couple wins is good deodorant. We'll see. But anyways, brother, I'm going to the airport.
Let's do an on-camera hug.
Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that hug. Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that.
How much taller I am than Brandon. All right. Man.
That was beautiful.
Buy bench warmer brew. Buy the coffee. It's the best tasting one.
Very good beans.
Right.
There you go. That was a beautiful moment there. But in terms of talking about those upsets,
yes, let's get to the upsets.
Let's talk about one of the few predictions I got right. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans.
Oh man,
woo, Kyler Murray, woo, my man was slinging it. DeAndre Hopkins, 2 fantastic touchdowns. The defense embarrassing the Titans there.
Yeah, what Chandler Jones have 4 or 5 sacks in that
5
game?
Sacks. It was nuts.
Where's
Hopkins,
Chandler's stat line here?
Go down. Go.
5. He finished with 5. Holy heck.
Yeah, 5. And it's the first game of the year. 5. Like, that's wild. Like, Chandler Jones is like, and listen, JJ Watt played well too. I know it's not going to really show up in the stat sheet, but like, he was causing disruptions all day. And this is where I get to have a little bit of it. And I told you so. I said the Cardinals were going to beat the Titans. Yeah. And I had so many Titans fans all up in the comments, Perna, and they were just like, you're sleeping on us. Our defense is so much better. We're number 1 in the preseason, number 1 ranked right there. Number 1. You don't know. We did all the work during the offseason, all the work.
Yeah,
Where?
That was my concern with the Titans. I didn't think their defense was actually better, but I just believed in my one true king, King Henry. And boy, Arizona is going to have to do this every week because I think the Rams are the best team in that division, unless Arizona's defense plays like this every week. And it's going to be close. The Seahawks did exactly what you think the Seahawks are going to do. Their offense balled out. Russell Wilson threw 4 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett, I think, had 3 in that game. But it's like, how long before the Seahawks sort of raise everybody's expectations? Then they dip, they get into the playoffs, and then they kind of lose. I was surprised at how well Arizona's defense played. But their offense was electric too.
Oh, yeah. It was high flying. Like, the thing that we were talking about this last week, like, the Cardinals were like projected to be the worst in that division, but still good. And like, you had them come out, and no one in the NFC West lost yesterday. Nobody. And by the way, if the Raiders win tonight, no one in the AFC West will have lost yesterday. 2 perfect divisions.
But I think, I was going to say maybe the 3 toughest divisions, AFC West, NFC West, and AFC North. The Browns
the North.
lose. Yeah. I think the Ravens will win tonight. So I think, the AFC West will have that 1 loss team. But the AFC North, Cleveland loses to a very good Chiefs team. But the Steelers defense might be the best in the NFL. Ooh. You've got the Bengals eking out a win, so I think that division is going to be ultra competitive.
Sure. I don't think the Bengals do anything with it, but they beat the Steelers last year. They could be one of those teams that you're just not prepared for, and they punch you in the mouth a little bit, and they're able to eke out a win. So, I'm not saying that the Bengals, because their defense is still bad. Their defense is not good, but I do think that. I think the AFC North is definitely up there. The NFC West, I think, is the best one in football, because I think you have potentially 4 playoff contenders from that division. Because the Seahawks, they played well against the Colts. They played real well, and that's a good Colts defense. And Wilson was just like, "Oh, I'm cooking again," and he got there. He got the chef's hat on, and he made it happen. So I think that the 49ers, even though they let the Lions get a little too close near the end. A little too close. Raheem Mostert getting injured. We'll see what happens there. But the 49ers, I think, will find their footing, and that pass rush is going to be great. And then, the Rams, Matthew Stafford last night looked phenomenal.
He's free. Stafford is free, baby.
I was so happy for him because I've always enjoyed Matthew Stafford. I thoroughly enjoy him. I think he's always a good player. I think he's always underrated. He's a tough son of a gun. Yeah. And he went out there and he was just letting it rip. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. And I'm like, crap, he's going to do this on our team. But their defense looked good, except for when they tried to stop David Montgomery. That didn't really work out. But thankfully, Matt Nagy's just like, we're not going to use him too much. So it worked out.
Matt Nagy, I predicted he'd be the first coach fired. I mean, I don't know what he's doing with Chicago right now. Their secondary looked bad because it wasn't just that Stafford was good. It was Cooper Kupp was like wide open.
Oh yeah.
Van Jefferson wide open.
Oh yeah.
And the Bears just don't touch him down. Like,
Yep.
what? How do you make it to the NFL and just watch a guy fall on the ground and then give up?
You're like, I'm done.
Let him fucking score after that. It
No.
was embarrassing if you're a Bears fan. Also, knowing that like you've got Justin Fields there and you're still rocking with Andy Dalton.
Dude,
what are you doing, Chicago?
But like, that's the thing. Like, I actually don't disagree with the whole Dalton Fields thing, and I think it's just because
we're gonna have a hot takeoff here.
Let's the hottest of takes here. I don't disagree with it because the Bears' offensive line is not great. It's not good. And I think the way they utilized Justin Fields yesterday, I didn't even think they'd be doing that. They think that they're the 49ers over here. But they use Fields, every now and then, getting him some reps, going up against a very good defense. I feel like he just needs to be eased in because I don't think they lose that game necessarily. They don't win the game because of Dalton, but I don't think they necessarily lose the game completely because of Dalton either. I think at the end of the day, throwing him into the fire behind a bad offensive line, and if the defense is not going to be good, I don't know if Justin Fields starts that game, I don't think that there's much that's going to be different in terms.
I think they lose 34-24. You get 10 more points with Field. Let me tell you something about old Andy Dalton. He is the softest QB in the NFL, and I don't want him leading my team, even though he looks sort of intimidating with a beard. With a beard,
a little bit more.
Dalton,
a little bit more.
Handsome man with that beard. But a guy who gets offended when J.J. Watt calls him the Red Ryder BB gun, cries about it in his post-game press conference. You want that guy to mentor Justin Fields? You got Justin Fields defending Andy Dalton.
Yep.
Saying, don't make fun of our starting quarterback. Support whoever is starting for the Bears. Sorry, Andy. Not a fan. I think you're wasting valuable reps for a young QB. You could argue that, you don't want Fields playing behind a bad line, but if a guy can manage, I think it's Fields. He's athletic enough to turn some bad plays into some big plays for that team.
Yeah.
Their secondary.
But Matt Nagy, is bad. Like, his play calling was bad. I mean, you look, there's some play calls yesterday that around the league that were just bad. Like the Bills on fourth down. Don't have no idea.
That just went nowhere and blown up.
Yeah. I have no idea what the hell that was. And then you have Matt Nagy instead, going for it on 4th and long, instead of kicking a field goal and making it down to a 10-point deficit. It's mind boggling to me. And I feel and again, maybe this is just recency bias and just the games I was watching. I feel like a lot of teams went for it on 4th down yesterday. I know the Packers did it a bunch. The Saints did it a bunch because they weren't going to get stopped. The Bengals did it. You had the Bills do it. You had the Bears. I feel like there was a lot more aggression that was there. But yeah, Matt Nagy is not a good play caller. It's just not good. And you have a team where you can put up points. David Montgomery was finding running lanes. David Montgomery was playing well. Why you're not handing it to him almost all the time until it doesn't work anymore, and then you start throwing the ball, I don't know. And that's not trying to be an armchair, GM or coach. It's just there was one thing working, nothing else was working. Do that thing.
Well, similarly, in the Broncos game, they couldn't run the ball effectively, but they stuck with it because you got to keep the defense honest, right?
Sure.
Especially if your quarterback is not a gunslinger, which Teddy Bridgewater is not. So I thought, if you're talking about a strong coaching performance, I'm going to give that to the Broncos. I'm going to give it to Vic because he's been, heavily criticized. And you throw in Justin Fields, you use him smartly. He rushes for a touchdown. The 49ers did it with Trey Lance. He comes in one play and just throws a touchdound. Which you're oh God, are they going to do this every time they get close? And Jimmy G was a bad fantasy pick.
You got a QB vulture.
Yeah. So any more upset? So we covered the Saints stomping the Packers, big upset. I'm going to mention the Cleveland Browns as a big upset, not because people thought that the Chiefs wouldn't beat them, but during the game. it was like the Browns controlled that game until the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And they should have won that game.
Yes.
They have, and I'm going to tell Browns fans why they should stick with their brownies. One, some of Baker's best plays, not going to show up on the highlights. He threw a beautiful, beautiful pass to rookie wide receiver Anthony Schwartz. It should have been like a 75-yard touchdown, but Schwartz bobbles it and then falls down. It doesn't matter because the Browns eventually score on that drive, a rushing touchdown from Nick Chubb, who was great.
Monster.
Until he fumbled in the second half. You're not going to see Chubb do that a lot. Kind of one of those outlier plays.
Yeah.
Play calling for the Browns. Very good. Very creative. They go for it on fourth down at the goal line. Run a end around or a jet sweep or some shit to Jarvis Landry. Convert. I really think Kevin Stefanski, very smart. You're not going to have to worry about him blowing games because of bad play calling like Matt Nagy, who is still, I think, just riding Andy Reid's coattails.
Long coat. It's a long coat.
But here's why Baker Mayfield will continue to get criticized. He's a great quarterback. We saw, what was it? Mike Greenberg do a whole piece about how well Baker really played last week that went viral like a month ago. But when the game was on the line, the Chiefs took the lead. The Browns had a chance to win the game. They had enough time on the clock to put a drive together, and they needed a touchdown, and Baker threw a pick. It is the difference between being a very good quarterback and a great quarterback.
Agreed.
In those situations, Aaron Rodgers has the ball. You think the Packers are going to score a touchdown outside of yesterday. Tom Brady has the ball. You assume the Bucs are going to score. So Baker, to take that next step, has to learn to control the game when it is on the line. And also, I heard this stat mentioned today. Patrick Mahomes has won 5 of his last 6 games when trailing by 10 or more points. Left out a key nugget there. Guess which game he didn't win?
The Denver Broncos.
It was the Super Bowl against
That's
the
it.
Bucs. He lost the Super Bowl when he was down by 10 points.
That's true.
So
then again, he also was dying. So
yeah, he was dying, running for his life. I have no segue here. I'm just going to say it. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, baby.
Speaking of things you could bet on, like QBs.
You can bet on QBs. You can bet on spreads. DraftKings Sportsbook, again, giving all new players a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 when you use code GPS on your first deposit. You're never going to get a better offer than having them match up to $1,000. Head to DraftKings now. Download the app. You can do all sorts of betting, in-game, same-game, parlays, player props, live betting, and so much more. The Packers point spread, I believe, was the most bet-on spread of the week because they were favored by like 3 or 3.5 heading into that game. Not a good bet. So the savvy people who bet against that, smart. Big
and again, you can use parlays tonight because the Raiders are a pirate team.
Parlays for the pirate team?
Yes. You get double the money. I'm making that up, but you do.
Yes.
No.
Also, if sports betting ain't available in your state, don't forget about DraftKings Fantasy app. They're offering millions of dollars in total prizes every week. And again, I told you, I like the tier maker in DraftKings. That was the first time I played the fantasy tier maker. I recommend that, even though I eventually
I got my
butt kicked because of Devontae Adams. I had Russell Wilson in there. I had Tyler Lockett. That was carrying me, if I'm honest. But download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code GPS, link in the description. With that code, you could receive a deposit bonus of up to $1,000 with your first deposit. Promo code GPS. Promo code GPS. Promo code GPS.
Yeah, it really helps out the show. And again, like I said, I like you said, if it's not available in your state, you got the fantasy thing, which is what I played. And again, I lost poorly. Let
me say it like this. If it's not available in your state, move to a different fucking state.
And when you move, when you go to U-Haul, we want to thank our other sponsors. U-Haul. Use code GPS to rent yourself a truck today.
You looking for a house cleaner to get your house in shape to clean up? Check out our house cleaning sponsor.
I really want to keep on going with this. You're like, do you need an interior decorator from the house that is now clean because you moved because of DraftKings? Well, boy, oh boy, do we have a promo for you.
We've got 30 sponsors on this show. Most sponsored sports show on YouTube.
I love it. I love it. Oh, so much. Oh, so much.
I also wanted to talk about the Bills before I forget. Because again, I mentioned last week I'm about the triple Bs. You know about the double Ds. Well, I'm all about the triple Bs.
Better Business Bureau.
Or you just channeled the dude from Parks and Rec.
The West. Jean Ralphio, baby. Jean Ralphio.
Yeah, John Ralphio. I like the Broncos, and then my side teams are the Bills and Browns. Wouldn't have predicted that the Broncos would be the only ones to win. Bills and Browns had very tough week 1 matchups on the road. I would not have wanted to play the Steelers and that defense on the road or the Chiefs at Arrowhead. But Bills fans, here's what I'm going to say to you to keep you hyped up. You left a lot of opportunities to score on the field. All right?
Accurate.
First play of the game, Isaiah McKenzie, former Bronco, almost takes the kick to the house. He needed to score a touchdown there because the Bills only walk away with 3. Maybe you get something like that happen. Josh Allen missed a deep ball pass. Channeled his inner Jimmy Garoppolo as he overthrows a wide open Emmanuel Sanders. Big miss there. I think Allen dials that in. Steelers, again, might have the best defense in the NFL. J.J. Watt was a beast. I think 2 sacks, a strip.
TJ was a monster. Oh, yeah, TJ. He's just like, oh, this is why you gave me all that money. Okay, good.
Here, I'm earning it.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Davis had a great touchdown reception in the back of the end zone.
I drafted him in all my leagues. Gabe Davis, baby.
Oh, man. He might be. I mean, you got Stephon Diggs, who was kind of quiet in this game, but Gabe Davis, don't worry, Bills fans. Your offense will get clicking. Zach Moss didn't play, so, a little short at running back. You held the Steelers to 3 points until almost the fourth quarter. 6. Yep. You had them with just 2 field goals, I think, at the start of the fourth. I think you're going to win 99% of those games, Buffalo, but special teams cost you. A blocked punt the Steelers take for a touchdown.
That 4th down call.
And then the other Steelers touchdown to Deontay Johnson. Levi Wallace plays defense there. Great. Gets his hand on the ball. Yep. And Deontay Johnson, known for drops last year, most drops in the league, makes an amazing catch.
He's like, no, it's mine now.
He somehow hauls that back in. So some things outside of your control, Buffalo. Now, I bet on you to bounce back from that. I paid attention to the Broncos game. I paid attention to the Bills Steelers game, the Browns Chiefs game. Chargers, fun stat I found on Twitter. If this holds, they're going to be
their O-line.
O-line, fewest percentage of pressures against Washington, against a great defensive front. So
they were that. Listen, Corey Linsley, All-Pro, former Green Bay Packer. Brian Bulaga, Iowa, former Green Bay Packer. They invested.
Where's my old guys?
Yeah. Oh, there they are. They invested and for again, it's just week 1, but like you said, against a very, very good Washington football team defense, they held. They look good. Real quick,
though, just to shit on the Chargers for a second, Ryan Fitzpatrick, if he doesn't go down in that game, I think Washington wins because it was very close. Washington couldn't do anything to pull away. So credit the Chargers defense, but no defense is stopping Fitzmagic. My biggest upset of the week emotionally was seeing Fitzpatrick go down with a hip injury. The official diagnosis is hip subluxation.
I hate when that happens.
Which I think that's fake. I think that's just I think doctors just mess with us. And they're like, I don't know what this is called, but I'm going to look in this medical book, come up with a crazy term, and I need some way of saying that his hip is not in the right place. But he's going to miss some time. So people are like, is Cam Newton going to the Washington football team now? Because Ron Rivera, not at the moment.
You got the Heine. You got the Heine who's going to take over.
Taylor Heine.
And he did okay. I want to hop back real quick to the Bills real quick.
Sure.
So what I see a lot on Twitter this morning was about Josh Allen's accuracy. And here's this old narrative again about how Josh Allen, real good QB, but as he had like an MVP-like season to start the season last year, then things started to digress a little bit. I'm curious, do you think that this narrative of him not being accurate is overblown? Do you think it's week one and, you can't really? Because like you did mention like some missed opportunities there from Josh Allen.
He missed that deep ball.
Yep.
Josh Allen kind of a wild card because I would normally say once a QB dials it in and you see him play a season like Josh Allen did last year, that he's going to repeat it.
Okay.
But maybe Josh Allen a little bit like a guy Brett Favre. Brett Favre, great quarterback, amazing arm talent. Okay. Probably one of the strongest arms while he was playing.
Sure.
Incredibly accurate a lot of times, but Favre would throw some picks.
A few.
You learn to win and lose with that. I think Allen's just going to be a similar QB. I think his floor has been raised. So I don't think we're going to see Josh Allen play as bad as he did his first two seasons.
Okay.
But I think it's also unfair to expect any quarterback to be MVP caliber every week, every year after they do it once.
Looking at you, Aaron Rodgers. 3 times.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the passing stats here so we can kind of take a little look-see. Ooh, where Josh Allen finish stat-wise? 30 of 51. Okay, so there's a problem. You're throwing it 51 times, Buffalo.
That's an issue, yeah.
And all offseason, I said the Bills' biggest weakness is their lack of ability to have a consistent run game.
They threw it the same amount of times that Trevor Lawrence threw it.
Yeah, you just don't want to do that. 58.8 completion percentage. But again, he's playing the Steelers defense.
They are playing Steelers defense. That is very true.
Yeah, so not the best performance for old Joshy Allen. He's right down there with Daniel Jones and Teddy Bridgewater.
You don't have to scroll down further.
But
yeah, don't scroll down further.
Look at Teddy, 77.8 with Jalen Hurts. We haven't talked about the Eagles.
Dude, Jalen Hurts looked great. He looked great
out of the Falcons. Yeah, that's another upset.
Yeah,
it's not an upset that the Eagles beat the Falcons.
It's that they looked that good doing it.
They manhandled their defense. They dominated them.
Yeah, they did. Matt Ryan, I drafted him in a couple of leagues. That was a big yikes. 21 for 35, 164 yards. Yeah, not really great.
No, Matty Ice was ice cold.
But not in like a cool way.
No, like you sat in the freezer and one of your limbs still might not be thawed out.
That's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked old. Kind of looks like time was catching up to him.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just now, here, I know we're talking about overreactions because listen, it's week one. Everyone's supposed to overreact, right?
Right.
Okay. So out of all the teams that won yesterday, which one looked the best in terms of their performance, in terms of their opponent? Which one are you looking at? Which one is your MVP? As
MVP team?
MVP team for week one. Like who gets that, the award in Madden? You get player one, but I'm giving it to a team here.
Wow. Okay. So I'm not going to say the Steelers because
no,
even though they won against a very tough game, an important September game, like Roethlisberger didn't look great for a while in that game.
Yep.
I mean, you can go back to Thursday Night Football and say like Tampa Bay ekes out a good win against the Cowboys, putting together a very solid game.
Yep.
Bengals beating the Vikings in overtime. That's very impressive.
Impressive.
For me, we haven't talked. Carolina gets a big win against
Carolina. Got to win
the Jets.
I don't know about a big win, but it's a win.
It's a win. Dolphins holding on over the Pats. Mac Jones underperforms a little bit.
I will say, I think it's between two teams for me. It's between the New Orleans Saints, whoever they kicked the crap out of the Green Bay Packers,
Cardinals.
Or it's the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. Those are my two as well. Oh, man. I'm going to give it to the Saints. That's the MVP
Thanks,
game.
guys, so much for watching.
For a
Appreciate it.
single
It's a great show. We're not going to be back Wednesday or Friday. We're going to buy out the rest of our contract. I'm so sorry.
Broncos, I would put top three.
Top 3. So if you're all right, riddle me this is because which I hope you're still doing because I totally told my fan base you're doing this. Power rankings with Brandon Perna. Yes, is that going to on Tuesday?
I'll be doing them Tuesday alongside Tom Grossi, and then we will
Excellent.
compare our power rankings on Monday.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so a little spoiler here. Are the Denver Broncos in your top 10?
Spoiler alert. Hell yeah, they are.
Oh,
Hell yeah, America. Denver Broncos
we're going to fight on
back
Wednesday.
in the top 10.
We're going to fight on Wednesday, and it's going to be glorious. It's going to
Wow.
be great. That segment's going to be great. So, folks, make sure you check out, of course, That's Good Sports when it comes to their power rankings. I'll be releasing my power rankings tomorrow, and we'll be sure to collide.
We're going to
on
power
Wednesday.
rank. And I cleared it with Tom. I was like, yo, I know you do power rankings Tuesday. I don't want to step on your turf. But a lot of Patreon members were like, do power rankings. I was like, well, yeah, why the fuck am I not doing power rankings? And Tom's like, yeah, and then we can talk about it Wednesday. And I think that's a great idea. Make sure we did a little bit of a raid to your stream yesterday.
It's true.
We felt bad for you. Everybody's like, poor Tom. And then the other people like, Tom is losing his mind. Let's all go laugh at Tom. We tried to keep it respectful. What I wanted to conclude this episode with was, well, one, go make sure you subscribe to Tom's channel, but preseason narratives that were shattered week 1. We haven't talked about it. Jamar Chase had a big game for the Bengals.
Had that one real big TD.
We were not talking about Jamar Chase's drops, which that's a win. That is a win. We thought it could happen. Where did he finish overall in yards here? Top 10, looks 101 yards.
Tyreek Hill, dude.
Tyreek Hill, good God.
Deebo Samuel. Like
9 receptions for Deebo.
There you go.
The 49ers been looking for that kind of guy, right?
Yep. Looking for that deep threat for so long.
Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, is it an outlier? We don't know. We'll find out.
Even Sterling Shepard putting over 100 yards.
Was the only giant who showed up, dude.
Okay.
7 of 9. Yeah, that's a big part of that was Patrick Surtain's missed tackle. But Jamar Chase, one
Look at Hawkinson. You go, Hawk.
Yeah.
See you. Now, Brandon Perna, real quick, just because in the last few minutes here, we got a Monday night game tonight.
Ooh, yeah. Let's
against one of your favorite teams is playing, the Vegas Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Playing against the Baltimore Ravens, who have no running backs. I honestly don't know who's starting at running back. Is it Le'Veon Bell? Is it Murray? Is it Freeman? I don't know. Is it Lamar Jackson? I don't know.
There's no way to actually tell either.
No. I just want them to just elevate all 3 to the active roster and just be like, I don't know, we're just going to figure it out. And whoever does the best is going to get the job. They're in game. Like it's a live game tryout. I think that's the best case there. Now, with
breaking news, they have Latavius Murray. When did that? Did we miss that?
Latavius? Yeah, he got signed last week.
Oh yeah, I said that and I froze. Oh God.
There you go. That was the football god saying no, you shouldn't have done that.
Man,
which, by the way,
how fast
Jeff Okudah also out for the year. Thoughts going out to him. Jeff Okudah out for the year.
Oh yeah,
no good.
Just not working out for Jeff Okudah.
Latavius
Murray is going to have a big game against the Raiders.
You think so? All right, now without a ton of running backs and what have you, do you think the Ravens still the Raiders?
Oh yeah,
layeth the smacketh down.
Let's say this, okay? The Saints, it sucks. They cut Latavius Murray right before he was supposed to get $3 million.
Yeah.
Turns out that was the right move for the Saints. Was the right move for the Saints. But Latavius Murray goes to a place I think he can thrive. I thought he was a better fit for the Ravens than Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, okay.
The depth chart doesn't even, I don't even see Le'Veon Bell anywhere in this depth chart thing.
It's still on the practice squad, I think.
How bad are you if you're Bell? If the Ravens sign you for this exact situation, just in case, and they're like, nah, you're staying on the depth chart. We're bringing in Latavius. Here's the thing: Raiders defense bad. It's been bad. They don't do anything right.
Are they still going to be bad this year?
I think so. I think their offense will do okay. I'm not
Josh
sure
Jacobs
how good
get
the
hurt
Ravens
already?
defense is. That losing Marcus Peters kind of hurts. But yeah, I predict Baltimore wins. There's no way I would pick the Raiders, even if I thought they were going to win this game, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough.
But they're not going to stop Lamar Jackson. He's negotiating his contract.
I feel like with the Raiders, like they are one of the teams that I have such a hard time figuring out because like they're like, oh, we have all these defensive pieces. Like it's any day now, it's gonna click. And then like the offense, we have all these weapons, it's gonna click. And it's meh. Like it's a whole lot of meh.
No, it's John Gruden and Mike Mayock do not know how to draft or navigate free agency, and it bites them in the ass every year. They keep cutting players they've drafted. They keep moving on from players they sign a year later. Guys want to leave. Like it's
not great.
Not great, but it'll be fun because it's in Vegas. So
that's true. The Death Star.
Getting
some fans in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see Monday night. Wednesday, folks, we will be back with the GPS, of course. We'll be going toe-to-toe with our top 10 power rankings. So make sure you tune into that.
Make sure you tune in. Make sure you sub to Tom's channel.
Make sure you sub to Brandon's channel.
Make sure you salute the flag. Make sure you eat your vegetables. And
your
make
vitamins.
Sure you drive the speed limit.
All right, I'm going to do a couple of those things. That's really... it's because of the driving motif that we got going on.
Yep.
Wow, that was deep.
Because Teddy Bridgewater, known as a safe QB, and it worked out. I'm all about safety. My theme this year, play it safe, guys. Don't take chances. Drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated. And have fun the good old-fashioned way by never taking any risks.
So, like, Teddy Bridgewater is like a Subaru.
Yeah.
Like, great crash ratings, good in the snow. Not going to, zoom. It's not going to be in a Fast and Furious movie, but...
Oh, my God. I'm using that today because do you know, like, the number one state that buys Subarus is Colorado?
Is it yours? Yeah. I'd have to imagine. You're welcome. That was gifted to you.
Yes. Thank you, Tom.
You're so welcome. I mean,
thank you guys for joining the live stream. Thumbs this video up before you peace out because we want to mess with that YouTube algorithm.
Let's get it, baby. Yeah, folks, I appreciate you supporting the show. It's been a grand old time so far. And
oh yeah, my apologies if I missed your super chats. My YouTube backend not working, so it's not intentional. Very sorry. Hopefully, I'll fix that when I call the president of YouTube.
There you go. All right, folks.
Bye, guys.
Have a fantastic day.